Now listen to Conversation 5, Part 1, discussing what you've been doing. While James is away in Glasgow, Anne phones her friend Marion, or Morag, in Aberdeen for a chat. They exchange information about what they've been doing.
Jewał Gianna Venju a Vorak.
Ba mi awn sa bhaile sa bhating.
An ro an balla trang.
Va go jaraf.
Agus jewał dis fisker.
Ba mi a níodarach agus a céarnagach, agus a dústach, agus a skiplachach.
Vau trang a ridav.
Je vau hénerish, Anna.
Va mi a kochgrach agus a funje.
Je va u a Giannav.
Va mi a Giannav brocht agus aran.
Now listen to the whole of Conversation 5, Part 1 again, just to make sure that everything is clear. Making sense of it all. Now let's find out a bit more about some of the words and phrases you've just met. To ask someone what they were doing today, you say,
Jewał Giannav and Jew.
What were you doing today? You can answer that question by saying, for example,
Va mi awn sa bhaile sa bhating.
I was in town in the morning. In the conversation, Anne asks, was the town busy?
And ro an balla trang.
And Marion answers that it was indeed busy.
Va go jaraf.
It was indeed. Anne then asks Marion what she was doing in the afternoon.
Jewał rish fisker.
What were you up to in the afternoon? You could answer as Marion does in the conversation.
Va mi a níodarach agus a céarnagach, agus a dústach, agus a skiplachach.
I was washing and ironing and dusting and tidying. If you want to pass comment on that reply and agree that the other person was indeed busy, you say,
Vau trang a ridav.
You were indeed busy. The grammar you'll need. You'll remember that we came across the Gaelic for the town in Conversation 4.
An balla.
If you want to say in the town, you say,
Awn sa bhaile.
Listen to how the word for the changes. Listen too to how the word for town is lenited.
Balla. Vala.
To make a statement about something in the past using the verb to be, you start the sentence with
Va.
This can mean was or were, depending on the person or the subject you're referring to. There are several examples in the conversation of this usage of the past tense. One of these is,
Va mi awn sa bhaile sa bhating.
I was in town in the morning. Another example is,
Va mi a Giannav brocht agus aran.
I was making soup and bread.
A Giannav.
Notice how this word can mean both making and doing. If you want to ask a question about the past using the verb to be, you use the question form.
An ro.
This means was or were at the beginning of the question, as in the following example.
An ro an balla trang.
Was the town busy? The yes answer to this question is
Va.
The no answer is
Charo.
There are two ways of asking what someone was doing in this conversation. In Conversation 3, you've already encountered the question, what are you doing?
Je ha shiva Giannav.
If you were asking someone you knew well that question, you would say,
Je ha u a Giannav.
The same form of question can be used about past events. The question would only change slightly to,
Je va u a Giannav.
What were you doing? The other way of asking what someone has been doing is to say,
Je vau rish.
This translates as, what were you up to? Now replay Conversation 5, Part 1 up to this point again, before carrying on with your practice. Over to you. Now have a go at being Anne in the conversation and give the Gaelic after the English prompts. Let's start. What were you doing today, Morag?
Jevaw Gianov an Jew a bhórag. Ba mi ann sa bhaile sa bhating.
Was the town busy?
An ró an balla trang. Va go dearab.
And what were you up to in the afternoon?
Agus jevaw dis fescar. Ba mi a níodarach agus a gíornagach agus a dústach agus a skiplachach.
You were indeed busy.
Bau trang a rídamh. Jevaw héanarish, Anna.
I was cooking and baking.
Ba mi a cóchgarach agus a funne. Jevaw Gianov.
I was making soup and bread.
Ba mi a Gianov brocht agus aran.
Well done. Now take the part of Marian or Morag. Say the Gaelic part of the conversation after the English prompts.
Jevaw Gianov an Jew a bhórag.
I was in town in the morning.
Ba mi ann sa bhaile ann sa bhating. An ró an balla trang.
It was indeed.
Va go dearab. Agus jevaw dis fescar.
I was washing and ironing and dusting and tidying.
Ba mi a níodarach agus a gíornagach agus a dústach agus a skiplachach. Bau trang a rídamh.
What were you up to yourself, Anne?
Jevaw héanarish, Anna. Ba mi a cóchgarach agus a funne.
What were you making?
Jevaw a Gianov. Ba mi a Gianov brocht agus aran.
Excellent. Why don't you replay Conversation 5 Part 1 again, just for good measure, before moving on to Part 2. Conversation 5 Part 2, discussing planned activities. In this conversation, you'll learn how to ask what someone else is going to do in the evening and state what you're going to do. Key words and phrases. Here are the new words and phrases you'll need for this part. Repeat them out loud. To watch TV.
Chait TV.
A programme.
Program.
A game or match.
Game.
Football.
Baul kosher.
A football match.
Game baul kosher.
Aberdeen.
Upper ein.
Now listen to Conversation 5 Part 2, discussing planned activities. Anne and Marian continue their telephone conversation and discuss what they're going to do that evening.
Jeha Gianov a noch.
Ha mi dul a chaiad TV.
Jeha dul a chaiad.
Ha mi dul a chaiad program siúld.
Cún a hae táiseach.
Ik nui uadan. Jehaw héine dul a Gianov.
Ha mi dul go game baul kosher.
Cóha clúich.
Ober éhin agus inar nish.
Bishin ma. Cunne ha táiseach.
Ag och uren.
Now listen to the conversation again, repeating after the speakers in turn.